Hey my lovelies, welcome back to my channel. For those of you guys watching, if you guys are a new subscriber, hello, and if you guys are old subscribers, welcome back. In today's video, I'll be doing a coming out story of how I basically came out as transgender. It started fairly around when I was about 3 or 4. Me personally, I was never into boy stuff. I was just never into like the toys and just basically hanging out with guys. It was never my thing. I was always a very feminine child. You know, I was very soft. I was very soft spoken, and I would always hang out with girls. So I think that was also a sign. I used to love playing with Barbies. Like Barbies was my thing. And it was so funny because I used to always hide it from my parents. When my mom and my dad were at work and just gone, I would play with Barbies with my sister. Me and my sister would always play Barbies when I was younger. It was always when my parents were gone, just because I didn't want them to see me playing with Barbies. And it's like, it was funny. As soon as they came into the door, I would just throw the Barbies and then play with the tractors and stuff. But overall, that was never really my thing. I was never really happy with playing with those kind of toys. So I think that was also one sign. I remember me thinking, oh, one day I'm going to just be a girl and just run away and just live as a female and just not talk to anybody and just escape Earth. Like, I used to always have those visions. When I would see these girls with long hair and just pretty clothes, I used to want that so bad, but I couldn't say anything because at first I didn't really know what was going on with me at the time. I wasn't aware of what it was. So at that point, I felt I was just confused and just was too young to understand stuff. I used to envision myself as a parent. Now, I'm sure people when they were younger, they thought of themselves as having kids and like, oh my God, I'm gonna have like a baby or whatever. You know, I used to always like, you know, fantasize about that here and there. But like when I would fantasize about those, I would never, ever, ever see me as a father. Like when I would think of myself in the future with kids, I never saw myself as a father. And when I did think about that, it was always weird to me. Like it was super awkward. And it just didn't feel right. But when I thought of myself as a mother and also being a female and living as a female, it felt right. Like it just felt complete to me when I would think about that. So I came out to them as bisexual first, then I came out as gay, and then I came out as transgender. Now when I first came out as gay, this was probably like my scariest moment because I don't know, like my parents were always supportive, but I'm really thankful for that because not a lot of people have supportive parents. So I just want to thank my parents for being so supportive to me, and I love them so much, and they're amazing. But you know, when you come out like that, it's always a fear. Even though you probably know that they might be accepting, you still have that fear in the back of your head, like, oh, what are they gonna think? Like, what's gonna happen? You know, you always have those fears, so that's what keeps you from holding back, and also society and just how they would view you. So that's what also made me scared to come out. When I came out as gay, I came out through text. For some reason, I just couldn't say that in person. I just could not say that to my parents in person. I don't know why. So I texted my mother. I texted her, I was like, hey mom, I've been thinking about this for a long time and I think I'm gay. And she was like, oh, I always knew, I'm always gonna support you. At first it was super awkward. After I told her through text, I stayed in my room. I was just frightened. I was just like, oh my God, like what did I just do? Like what are they thinking? I was scared, but then I was also relieved. It felt like it was just something that I was holding in that I just let out. So that also made me very happy. So I just stayed in my room. I was super paranoid, sitting there like, oh my God, what's gonna happen? Like, so then I remember I finally got enough courage to go to the living room, and I seen her sitting there, and then that's when we started talking about it. And basically she was just saying like, oh, I always love you, I always support you. So that's how that came about. And then that's when my mother told my father, and then my brother and my sister. So she kind of came out for me to my family. So that's when I lived my life as a gay man. I lived in my freshman year, my sophomore year, and then my junior year. Now for my freshman and sophomore year, I was still dressed as a boy. I would wear makeup here and there, but nothing too major, but I was still dressed as a boy. Now this sign is what really made me realize who I was. So I remember it was my homecoming dance junior year. That was when I decided to wear a dress because, you know, I did not see myself in a suit. I couldn't wear no suit. I was just like, heck no. We not wearing no suit, baby. We don't do that here. We ain't doing all that. Then at that point, I felt so amazing when I put on that dress. When I put on that makeup, when I put on my hair, when I put on the dress, I felt so amazing. Like something inside me sparked. Like something inside me felt that, you know, this is who I am and this is what I want to do in my life. I feel like a female, you know. That's when people started, you know, questioning like, am I transgender or not? Am I a female? Am I going to present myself as a female? But that was when I really started realizing like, you know, this is me and this is what I want to do in my life. Like I'm a woman. Like, you know, I felt that inside of me. Like it felt awkward calling me a he now. Like I wasn't comfortable with that anymore. I wanted to be called a female. I was so afraid. I was just afraid, you know, because that is a big step. You know, coming out bisexual and gay is still big, but transgender, that is like a complete change. So then the day of October 23rd is when I finally came out to my parents. Now, for me, it was a very emotional time because I was just afraid of what others would think, because it is a big change. I remember me sitting down on the couch and having my mother sitting down on the other couch, and she was just reading a book. I'm very expressive with my facial expressions. At that point, I was kind of looking sad, like I had something to say. So my mom detected that, and she knew, and she told me. She was just like, oh, what's wrong, what's wrong? And I was just like, can you get my dad too? Can you guys come sit down and talk? So she got my dad, and then they both sat down on the couch, and then they were like, oh, like, what's wrong, what's up? I really got emotional, and I started bawling my eyes out. Like, I started crying. I don't know why, but I just started crying, like, so much. Like, tears were running down my face, and I was just like so backed out at saying it, but I finally said it. I was just like, I told them, I was like, you know, I haven't been feeling comfortable in the body that I'm in for a while now, and I think I'm transgender. My mom, she was super duper supportive. She was just like, oh, why were you crying? You don't need to cry. Like, I'm always gonna be here for you. I love you. You're my child. I'll always love you. Da 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 da. And my dad, you know, he was very supportive too, but you know, dads, he kind of had like a little look on his face of like shock. He was kind of like, my mom, she was super excited. My dad, he was happy for me. He was also shocked. So that's how I came out as transgender. It was an emotional time, but it was also happy, and I was so relieved that I finally got that off my chest. So that's when I also came out on my social media, and I got a lot of support from that. So instantly, my mom, she booked a doctor's appointment. So within like 3 months of actually transitioning, that's when I started to go to my doctors and go on hormone therapy. So that's when that started. So if there's anyone out there trying to come to terms with who they are, I would say patience is key. You really need to evaluate what you want and what you need in life. It's a process, and just it takes time to slowly develop and figure out who you are. Now, some it might be longer for others, and some it might be shorter than others. Everyone's transition is different. To anyone out there, don't be afraid to be yourself. Love yourself. There's many of people who love and support you. So if you guys are feeling like, you know, this is the end of the world, if you guys are feeling like no one supports you, there are people out there that love you and support you and will help you through your journey. You just need to find that path and stay positive and just be yourself. And don't let anything get to you, because you are loved and you are accepted. I promise you that. That was my coming out story. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe. Bye, lovelies.